And peace be multiplied unto thee. And I am so excited, and I thank God for Jesus for setting a goal that challenged me, that required prayer and focus and determination and perseverance. I actually shaved off 2 minutes from my previous time at a 5K, and that was 2.5 years ago, September 27th, 2014. Excuse me. And I'm about 5 to 8 pounds heavier and 2.5 years older. However, I didn't train the first time. I just did it, and it took a mental aggression. And this time I trained, and I was so focused on the body side and surpassing and beating and making a new personal record, that the psychological part, I was more tougher psychologically then, and not as prepared physically then, because it just wore me out. I was like trying to recover from sleep for like 2 days. My body was just so not ready for it. This time, my mental aggression was not as tough as then, but my body is in better condition. And so, and also the race was much earlier in the morning, 2.5 years ago. It was the Neptune Festival 5K. And it started, I want to say 8 o'clock. And that time of year, well, it's almost the same, because this is like a late spring, early to middle spring. And that was early fall. So probably comparable type of weather, but that was much earlier in the day. The sun did come out at the end. However, with this one, and we had more water stops. They provided water in more spots throughout the race. Whereas with this one, the Big Blue by Bon Secours, they actually started later. So the sun was strong when we started, and there was only one water station. And that, I think, those two things, because the first race I did not stop. And there was a woman in front of me whose back, I'm telling you, when you are running a race, there's people going by you. There's people ahead of you. There's people that you may pass, and then they come and start passing you because they start running. But I find that the consistency, you know, when the word says the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to he that endureth unto the end, it's not necessarily about how fast you're going, but it's to be paced so that there is a consistency, that you are knowing what you, sometimes that's a strategy. And what I found was when my body was getting dehydrated because the sun was really strong and I felt that I definitely needed to slow down, my legs almost buckled under me. That's how strong the sun was, and that's how much I needed water. So I did stop at some points this time, but that was a strategic thing. I want to say, when we get the momentum, if we can continue without stopping, because a couple of those points, it took getting that pace up again. And your body wants to say, look, you stopped before, let's stop again. And so it takes a more agility. It takes more of the aggression. It takes more of the stamina to get back into the momentum once you've stopped, because now your body has gotten used to that slowdown and that stop. And when I say stop, I mean stop running, but I was still moving. I was hustling in my walk. But I just want to say persevere. get the pace right. Make sure you get your nutrients in, and not just in the food, but in the water, not just in the food and the water, but in the word and prayer, and just laying before the Lord, fasting and socializing and fellowshipping one with another. This is where we get our strength. This is where we get our momentum, where we can say, I am fully persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor principality, nor powers, nor wicked, anything present or anything to come shall separate me from the love of God. But here's the thing also. If you do slow down, don't beat yourself up. Just keep on going. You know what? I may have slowed down just a little bit, but I'm still in this race. I'm still going. I'm still moving. I got this thing. And even with me walking a couple of places, and I knew this was going to be true, because when in my training, I still would get good time if I was doing the interval, the HIIT, high intensity, and then interval training. So when I was doing that, I was still getting my 38s and my 37s and so that's what I was pushing for. But that dehydration, let me tell you, that stuff is real. So I may just be looking for my next 5K to start early. If it's starting 10:30 or later, and it's spring, summer, or fall and not winter, I may in fact just pass that one by and keep on going, because I now know my body and what it does and need at a 10 o'clock hour for this type of race. So be encouraged. Listen to your bodies. Listen to your muscles. That doesn't mean punk out when you're feeling a little uncomfortable. We want to be in our uncomfortable spot. That way we are engaging our muscles. We are engaging our will, and we are engaging our spirit, man. So being uncomfortable is a good thing. But we don't want to push to pain or push beyond our body limits. So listen to your body and fortify your spirit, man. I encourage you in the name of the Lord, and I thank God for Jesus for you. For all my supporters, thank you. I have to thank God for Jesus for you. Yolanda, Marilyn, Tamara, Darlene. If you press the like button, thank you. If you press the heart, thank you. If you encourage me with words and a comment, thank you. If you laughed at me, thank you. If you were praying for me, thank you. I thank God for Jesus, for you, and for this particular group, Divine Health, Healing, and Wholeness. So on the next time, I'm going to be, I know what to do. And so this gives me an idea of, even in the spirit realm, how we should prepare and how we should be ready for anything that comes. And I thank God for Jesus. I do want to say at the last minute, there were some changes. Family was supposed to be with me. Work and schoolwork came into place. Time that was supposed to be delegated to schoolwork earlier in the week actually got relegated to work. And we already know those two things take precedence. So I happened to be by myself, but with Jesus. The Lord was with me. I know this. And I'm saying this to say, not for any pity thing, because I sure wasn't feeling pity, but it's for us to actually get in mind. Yes, it's good to have unity. Yes, it's good to have the social fellowship. Yes, it's good to plan all these things. But what happens when the ones you think are going to be there with you and then they're not? What happens when mama doesn't agree? What happens when spouse doesn't agree? Husband or wife doesn't agree? What happens when children are off doing their lives? What happens when you find yourself having prepared to have that support and you don't? What happens then? Do you give up? Do you give in? Do you fall? Do you falter? Do you say, you know what, I can't do it because I don't have anybody with me? I'd rather do this run with someone. I'd rather do this walk with someone. I'd rather work out with someone. Yeah, you may. And there's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. We encourage that. We support that. We hail that. But what happens when the ones you count on, when the ones you thought were going to be there, when the ones that said they would be, don't? I just want you to think about that. and know that the Lord is preparing you to walk into an area of anointing, an area of an anointing, an area of career choice, an area of development, that he wants you to know that it's him and you. It's not to say that other people can't be included, but there's a part of the walk that's just going to be him and you. Yep. No matter how much we want it for you, it's going to have to come. It's going to have to come from you. Yes. So again, thank you and God bless you.